Right now is sitting at its lowest level since 2004. It is below 77 cents U.S. The drop, though, isn't upsetting everybody. It's actually raising hopes for millions of Canadians who are employed in exporting and the millions of Canadians who are employed in the tourism industry. Alex Kenjeev is the president of O'Leary Ventures. He joins us now from Toronto. Mr. Kenjeev, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
So what do you make of this the situation? Is this going to pick things up for you and your fellows in the tourist business?
I think for the tourism industry, it certainly helps a great deal. In fact, we're already seeing very big volumes of Americans and others that are coming to our country in the biggest numbers that they have in about 5 years. It makes sense, right? Because if you're an American, you're looking at your cost of vacationing here, you're thinking, well, gee, a year ago, $1 US would have bought you, just over $1 Canadian, about $1.07, and today you're getting $1.30. So you're laughing. Everything here is a bargain.
Now, is this just the Americans that come here? Aren't we keeping about par with the Europeans?
Absolutely. In fact, the effect is even more pronounced when you look at things from the perspective of a non-American. That's because you've actually got two things happening at the same time. The low Canadian dollar, which is making Canada more enticing, a better bargain for you, but also the relative strength of the American dollar, which makes a visit to the States more expensive by comparison. So we're seeing actually a 15% increase in non-U.S. international travelers, and I think that number is going to keep going up.
Now, in terms of tourism, this is, of course, a double-edged sword. What about Canadians who want to travel abroad?
Well, I think it's ugly out there. I mean, I used to do all my shopping in the States, clothing, etc. I'm really thinking twice these days. $1 Canadian used to buy you almost $1 American about a year ago. You're down to about 77 cents. It's not pretty. On the other hand, traveling within our borders is going to pick up even more. So a lot of Canadians are going to look at the decision and think, gee, should I go skiing in Colorado or should I go to Tremblant or Whistler? And I think a lot of people are going to make the decision to stay right here north of the border.
Right now, for folks who are not in the tourist industry at all, where would the people be coming from? Where would they be going? How much money would they be spending? And is it enough to really give our economy a boost?
It's enough to give it a bit of a boost, but I wouldn't get too excited. I don't think it's enough to reverse the effects of the low oil price overall. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is that, in a way, we're really just playing catch-up. International travel to Canada has actually dropped every year for the last decade or so. So increases that we're seeing today are just trying to get us back to kind of where we were about a decade ago. The other issue is that tourism is big. It's about 2% of the economy, which is bigger than agriculture and fishing combined, so it's pretty big, but much less big than, let's say, oil and natural resources. Those are really the areas that are still the main engine of the Canadian economy, so we're still going to be hurting overall.
Alex Kenjeev is the president of O'Leary Ventures, joining us from Toronto. Thank you very much for this, sir. Appreciate your time.